Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Rusty Nelson, and I guess welcome to the Villages. It's a little, probably about 6:30 or so in the morning, and Ian has passed, so to speak. Now, you're still going to get some wind and rain, but I think the major part, the damaging part, has passed by us and is just about ready to go out to sea for a little while. It's a little windy out here. I'm standing out in front of my house, and you can see some of the trees blowing around, but I've seen a lot worse than that in a good thunderstorm. There are some, I'll call them tentacles, the stuff you see rotating around a hurricane that possibly could come down and hit us. I kind of doubt it because there's a front that's sitting up there, so it's going to kind of keep a lot of that. There's a lot of dry air behind it, so I think we're going to get saved by that. I'll show you a picture maybe of it. But anyway, I'm going to go hop in my car, go drive around the Villages and check out and see exactly what there is to see when the sun comes up. I'll probably head up north and see what's up there, because from what I understand, up north a lot of the water is not controlled the way it is down here until you get below 466. Anyway, I'm off as soon as I get myself some coffee. First thing I'd show you is you know, when I normally do storm chasing, I have a set up something like this. Now, you can see this is my laptop right here, and it's hooked up to a GPS. And if you look right here, this is the GPS, this little dot showing where I am. And this is a program that I use. It costs money, so it's not a freebie, and you have to purchase it. But anyway, that's what I use when I'm storm chasing. And then I also use a program like this on my cell phone. It's called Radar Scope. That costs a little bit. That's kind of cool also. And usually have a camera mounted right here. And that's basically what I use for storm chasing. And also I use my phone as a hotspot. I used to use a puck, but now I use that. So anyway, I'm going to go out with this. I'm going to go look around. If you take a look at this really quick, you can see the only thing that's left, this is where you can see the circular motion right here. And usually from on a hurricane, although I am definitely not a hurricane specialist, but usually on a hurricane, the northeast side, this side up here, is kind of like the dirty side. This is where a lot of the weather takes place. But we actually had, if you take a look right here, there's a front, and when you see it alternate like this, that means it's kind of stationary up there. And on the other side of this, over on this side, the air's kind of dry. So that's kind of why yesterday when you saw a lot of the storm activity, I think a lot of it was fed along this line. You saw a lot of storm activity on the backside, but now that it's moving out to sea, which is out here, this is Florida right here, now that it's moving out to sea, you'll start to see a lot more storm on the northeast side, as it supposedly is going to go up the coast. But we'll see. I kind of think it may stay out to sea a little bit more, but you never know with these things. But I can switch in between radar areas, like right there, switch radars, and I can tell exactly what's going on like that. But right now, we're gonna go take a ride around the Villages. It's early in the morning, about 6:45 or so, and go see whether there's any damage. I didn't go out last night because I just didn't think that there was a whole lot going on. But we'll go out and check and see, and I'll come back and throw this up on YouTube. I had to make a run by Dunkin' Donuts right across from the Walmart market, and it's doesn't look like it's going to be open, and McDonald's doesn't look like it's going to be open, but the 7-Eleven is open. So if you're looking for gas or whatever, you can definitely get gas over there. But I think some businesses are going to be a little bummed that they didn't want to open today, and I totally get it. but I have a feeling today is going to be pretty much a non-event except for cleaning things up. Anyway, I'm going to stop by and get a snack for the road at 7-Eleven and then continue this journey. I am currently decided to go into Brownwood to see if there was any damage, but right now in Brownwood there's nothing but a bunch of palm fronds kind of hanging out. And here's the funny part, is the cop cars are parked out in front of Dunkin' Donuts, and good for them, because this is where the area is that they have one of their offices. And as everybody knows here, there is absolutely no doubt that we love the police here. And I'm gonna go drive around here a little bit. I actually, right after I got out of the military, I went on a ride along. I don't know whether they do that anymore, where I went for 2 days out with the police in Sacramento and rode along with them and did everything that they did. I got a chance to go do guns out surrounding a house, and it was very interesting, and you definitely, without a doubt, gain a lot of respect for what they do for us. And so I thank them all the time. So you can see there's, I guess you can see this in the video, there's a little bit of junk palm fronds on the ground. So looks like Hurricane Ian did a little tree trimming for us. I am just up by Collier, and I am in the loop there, in the roundabout. And cancel this. And well, as you can see, there is a lot of debris, a lot of these palm fronds in the road. Now, I guarantee you, in fact, anybody comes through here pretty quick, they're going to get whacked by some of this. But I think you're going to find that around the whole area. But they are pretty darn fast about getting all that stuff up. One of the biggest problems that you're actually going to see driving the golf cart is these palm fronds right here. They're coming off of the trees that look like this. So be careful, because as you can see, they're all over the place when you're driving your cart. And these suckers are kind of heavy when they come down, but if you're going to block areas, just take your time. And as you can see, it's still pretty windy out here. And you're going to get bands of storms that come through here on and off. And that's when you're going to get the wind, and you're going to come out and you're going to go, okay, it looks like it's died off a little bit. But then all of a sudden you're going to come back, and 2 seconds later, another one of these bands is going to drop down off of the west side of the hurricane and hit us, and it's going to start getting windy again. So I'm going to continue north, about halfway up North Boulevard right now. Get back into the car. Much to my bummer, the Dunkin' Donuts were all closed, so I couldn't even get myself. I was looking forward. The only time I get this bad food is when I do this kind of stuff. So no Dunkin' Donuts this morning. I'm currently down in Sumter, and there's Cody's right there. But this is a classic site right here. So whoever golf cart this is, I'm glad you decided not to drive home, obviously, but now you made the big time. But as you can see, there's a lot of palm fronds around here, and I'm gonna walk over right over here. Probably shouldn't be walking under these trees, but as you can see, it's a little windy, so kind of watch out as these areas come through, I imagine we're going to see a little bit of something we don't get to see too often, whitecaps over here. But I just wanted to see what the water looked like. And as you can see, there's just like a lot of debris around. And you really kind of want to watch these trees. But yeah, this kind of looks like, whoa, walk around from the building there. I gotta keep wiping the lens off, but I'll turn this around. Here's a picture this morning. White caps, which we don't get to see white caps that often, but the boats are still in the mooring there for anybody that cares. And it's definitely kind of windy out here still, so be careful if you decide to come out. And it looks like most of the boats are still moored. I don't see any floating around. And I can imagine that, yeah, it's getting a little windy, but nothing more than a big storm that we have. See a couple people walking around, but not much. It's kind of clean. I'll drive by Sumter, the square over there, and see what that looks like. And there's one lone vehicle cruising down here, and as you can see, there is a bunch of debris in and around the streets and on the sidewalk. So if you decide to come down or you want to venture out into the area, be a little careful. But to be totally honest with you, there's not much to see. The square looks perfectly fine. Absolutely nothing to report. I'm going to make a left right here, and then I'm going to shoot back out across the bridge. All the electrical is on. Sales office looks lit up, but I can't imagine that for the better part of the day they're actually going to be at work. But still a lot of white caps out there. As I jump across the bridge right here, you can see there's a lot of white caps out there. But the thing that I found pretty wild was I only saw one person walking around the square.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
And right. I only saw, well, here's another car, so there's another car, but that's about it. There are not many people out right now. It's just a few minutes before 8, and I'm about ready to make a left turn right by Home Depot onto 27. Now, shoot to the camera out the front of the vehicle. And there's nobody out there.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left on Main Street.
So I'm gonna go over to the square, and I'll tell you what, you won't get to see this often. I know Skip on his channel, he always bitches about don't go up on 27. Well, if you ever wanted to go up on 27, today is the day. Turn into Spanish Springs, and I'm going to really quick take a look at this lake over here and see how full this is. Show you a quick picture of the dock. This is the dock that you saw yesterday. You actually see the bird in there. And this is actually the trees that you looked at yesterday, so you can tell there's more water in there. There's a picture of the bridge as I'm trying to cover the lens so it doesn't get wet. And definitely the stairs and the railing, the lower railing to there is underwater. But you can't even walk out on this dock anymore because the water's that high. But like I said, nobody here. Somebody else left their go-kart, or go-kart, why I keep calling it a go-kart? I have no idea why I keep calling it a go-kart. Their golf cart over there. If somebody had a late night or something. I am going to get out of the car. Now this is directly across from Spanish Springs. And give you an idea, there's the veterinarian and the dentist. And take a look. I'm going to stand behind this wall here for a second so that I can get some. It doesn't look like this is really that high. I mean, I can tell that it's higher than normal. It's yeah, it's definitely higher than normal. I'm gonna take this off, and you can see all the ground is covered with all kinds of debris, and they were probably pretty smart on chopping some of these trees down. Once again, if you take a look really quick, there's a lot of, you're gonna take your golf cart out, you're gonna run into a lot of this, a lot of debris on the cart paths. And you wanna be kind of careful because sometimes these can be slick, they got some spikes in them, and they can be kind of heavy if they're coming down. But generally, it's pretty safe out here. I'm going to have to get back into my car because I'm getting soaking wet, but make sure you watch out for that. I've been looking at the tunnels. All the tunnels look fine. Whoop. And I'll keep poking around, see what I can see, but generally, the village looks like it's open for business. There's just nobody working today. Okay. Here's something else you want to be a little bit cautious of, and that's the fact that the gates are actually down. And what happens when the gates are down, you'll find that people, they tend not to stop and they get a little lackadaisical about going through them. So be really careful and double check when you're in your carts when you cross there, because I think you'll find that people tend to just blow through there, both on their golf carts and their cars, a little, because they're not stopping. So anyway, just a warning to be a little careful. I wanted to take a picture of this to remind people, if you have a flag up, I realize we just had a storm, so that's probably what happened to this, but if you have a flag, go ahead and go on to Amazon and get a new one, because to have a flag up like that, it's better if you just take it down.
In 2.1 miles.
Anyway, and dispose of it correctly also. I am currently driving just in and around, casually around neighborhoods, just to see whether I see anything. I'm right down near St. John's, kind of near the, where the new, I guess, rec center restaurant is going to be. And obviously last night one of these trees fell over and they cut it down and dragged it off over here already. So they've obviously last night kind of went through and cut some of these off, but there still are some palm trees, the newer ones, lying in the middle of the road. Driving back from one palm tree, I decided to come back along I guess it's got to be Megason, coming out of Brownwood, and that was the first palm tree I saw down. So, and I decided to come through this area because a lot of the trees are new, and this is kind of like the end of my drive. You can see there's a lot of debris in the road right here, but it's just small stuff, the moss coming down from the trees. But I wanted to see, since a lot of these trees were new, whether some of them would get knocked down, because I was really concerned about the one that was behind my house, because they just took the braces off. So I'm just at the entryway near St. John's. As soon as I said that, here's another palm tree. So if you're driving around this area, I'm sure you'll see it. But definitely, if there's a lot of wind, drive on the outside lane. I figured I'd come over and take a look by the putting green over here by the marketplace, and that looks really normal. So a lot of the water levels are normal. Got some of my friends that are talking to us, trying to ask, why in the world are you out here in this? We have to be out here, but you don't. So they're not even fazed by me being here. Anyway, I could go over and go take a look at the marketplace and see if there's anything over there, and then I'm heading home. Kind of had a feeling I'd find one of these trees that's down in this area, and you may recognize this place right away as I bring up the camera. Slight bit of catastrophe here, although not too bad. This is actually the worst thing that I've found so far in the villages, and that's saying a lot. That's saying something about the construction, how well it's done. And decided to come down here and take a look at the new structure here. I know that there was rumors, I don't know if they're rumors or not, but they said something about hurricane bolts and that kind of stuff, and something wasn't right. But I know this building this over here next to the marketplace is definitely taking a little bit longer than the villages usually takes on things, considering they built all of this area like in a year's time. Seems kind of strange that this one, but anyway, this definitely was probably the biggest piece of damage that I have seen. And I have a feeling we're going to get a few more gust storms through here, so some other things may fall. But I just drove through a bunch of areas and haven't really found anything. So hooray for the villages and hooray for us. And hopefully everything will be back to normal within 24 hours, I would think. And I think that's about it. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for subscribing, and I hope everybody else weathered the storm really well. If you did find anything, it'd be kind of fun to know whether there was any damage, because I sure couldn't find it, and I drove all over the villages. Anyway, thanks a lot for subscribing, and I will either see you down here in the villages or see you back on YouTube. Have a wonderful day.